It is a place where the truth should be carried.
The arts and music scene really shows what people are about.
Share what's going on here in York.
Makes you feel like a family.
Local art has a face that most people can relate to.
Our community up here that sticks together.
Art is art.
Great potential with great artists, poets, singers, writers, directors, filmmakers. It's fantastic.
Everyone has a story to tell.
That moment, you have to capture that moment and share it with the rest of the world.
Showing something that maybe is not been seen before.
Without art, what good is life?
I am art. I've been art ever since I was born.
It really adds a great deal to our community.
We don't really need art to exist, but you need art to live.
Culture in Maine is important, and I think playing out is important, and playing open mics and playing wherever you can play. It's all about us all checking in with each other.
Oh, little lady, don't you make me wait? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go back to your old place, sweet, sweet home, Chicago, Curtis.
Yes, my name is Curtis Andrews. I'm a keyboard player in the band and vocalist.
Name is Leroy Flowers Jr., bass player.
Okay, I'm Dominic Icavone, and I play keyboard and sax.
Dave Icavone. I play the drums.
My name is Don Johnson. I'm the leader of the Don Johnson Project. I'm the lead vocalist, lead guitarist, and I kind of like keep these guys on straight.
We do a wide variety of music. Blues, do a little jazz, R&B. We might even do some line dances, hip hop. So it all depends.
The keyboard player, saxophone player is my dad.
It's blues, R&B, old school. It's something for everybody.
It's playing music. Play us some music. It's playing music.
bass is it's a rhythm instrument, but it also is in time with the drums as far as the beat is concerned. Because when you get down to it, the drums have a tone. You got your bass drum, snare drum, each one is a different tone. And the bass and the drums mix together, and that's what gives you the rhythm, the bounce. Right. That's in other words, that's what makes you pat your feet.
I'm more of a jazz pianist type player, you know. So funk, I sort of mixed the funk with the jazz, and I wanted to play sax, but my band director wouldn't teach me.
Well, I'm not really formally trained. I took accordion lessons when I was a kid. I took 4 years of accordion lessons, so I do have some music, formal training. But these instruments I play now, pretty much taught myself. I had a lot of help from a lot of great musicians.
He bought me a drum kit when I was 10 years old, and I've been playing ever since.
give you a brand new Ford. You said, I want a Cadillac, right? I bought you a $10 dinner. You said it was a damn snack. I let you live in my penthouse. You said it was a shack. Gave you 7 children. And now you wanna give it back. I've been downhearted, baby, ever since the day we met. From Virginia Beach in 2000, and I came here to relax, but I ended up playing in a band, and here we are 10 years later.
I met Don through a friend of mine in Baltimore. Don called me up, and I had just retired. I've been retired now for 12 years, and he called me up and told me he's putting a band together. And I told him okay, and came on up, and we've been working together ever since.
I'm the sax player. I'm the keyboard player. Real happy I met Don Johnson. It gives me a lot of work keeping me a little bit.
At my church, and I'm from Camden, New Jersey, so one of our musicians, his name was Byron Ward. He's like the best. He's awesome. He played like Chick Corea, so I learned from him. He didn't like show me. I pretty much learned from playing with him.
These guys are seasoned.
Patrick Sales is a co-founder of a local architectural design build firm, Salvaging Creativity. He fabricates furniture, staircases, signage, and lighting for residential and commercial space. Patrick spends the remainder of his time working to improve the public urban landscape as a partner in New York City's public sculpture program. For the past year, he has joined with Aaron Casey and a group of talented community leaders to build the community makerspace, Working Class. Working Class will serve as a hub for space, tools, and knowledge, enabling anyone to build something. Patrick.
Hey everybody. All right, Buckminster Fuller, space, Elon Musk, biotech, nanotech, perfect future, couple in their utopian city, 3D print everything, apps for everything, technology for tech's sake, forget the goal. A new world of choice and ease is here. As humans, we look forward. We're story makers and seekers. Public architecture expresses the intention of each generation. Our whirling media machine puts forth so many scenarios per second that our definition and our stories end up skewed from reality. It's easy to collect the loud stories. We know what's best. We'll sell you something that will fix it. New car, new house, new life. Shh. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I'm here regardless. So is this whole world. Be present, explore, observe, take it all in. We're just a speck, and that's the best part of it all. Still a speck that seeks meaning, purpose, answers, and a story with some truth. My grandfather built and fixed things for himself. He made our toys. He pulled us into the making, into his wood shop, into his way of engaging the world, music, books, knowledge, agency. He lived through the satisfaction achieved from the knowledge that you can do things. Too big to fail, Bethlehem Steel. Between iron making and the L furnace, my dad tested samples in a small lab high up between those two structures, behemoth machines. In less than one generation, even things of this scale change. And we forget, L furnace, that last chunk of an enormous plant, was leveled, no marker. So we're born into material bodies, 5 senses, opposable thumbs. It seems we're purpose-built to manipulate and explore our material world. I chose to find purpose in my part of the story, fixing things. As an engineer, infrastructure repairs, inspections. I saw how civilization was built, stylized, and fared over time. So growing up, people tell you how things are. I saw things which conflicted with the predominant stories of society, exploring huge institutions dormant in decay. They were once the pinnacle of our culture. They left falling back to the ground. But I think seeing those, you have a chance to see them as they are. Things don't change too quickly, as they say we do, the cycles of the season, architecture. Here I could seek my own ideas and learn to build from the parts and pieces. So building things forces one to confront their place in time. The effort constantly exposes us to learn by our failures. No one begins ahead or cheats the materials and the tools. You have to read and choose stories that mean something to you. Salvaging Creativity began on an abandoned farm. We used what we knew and what we found. We fixed that silo as our shop. Today, these material and place interactions keep me grounded. This is our next shop, York Ice Machinery, began in 1895. Here, we continue to fabricate where things were built for over 100 years. Grounded in this old plant, we feel a part of the arc of time rather than seeking to escape it. We'll add to it rather than replace it. So life has this underlying drive of escaped perfection. We search for something indefinable and ever-evolving, timeless, physically perfect. I'm not sure about us or the specific things we make, but our stories are perfect, and craft, done consciously or cluelessly, is inseparable from storytelling. So time, hard use, oxidation, it's just a cable spool by the sea, living life in the present as a cable spool. Materials have their own stories and their own histories. I seek defects because a defect speaks more loudly and might stop someone like it did me to question why. Here, the salvage yard, farms, the trails along the woods, these places are where we collect the materials found out of place and try to draw those stories from them. The incongruencies present you with a story and something worth building from that adds. So here in York, we have a legacy of craft and people with skills. We have the ability to meet them, listen to their stories, and learn their ways. And not every city has a density of people with these kind of craft stories to tell and share. This is Bob Yelton down on his sawmill yard. So I take these materials, the knowledge of people around us, the tools and companies in this little city. I recraft these resources into functional elements of our built environment. A hay rake, an old dogwood tree, some quarry sieves. Through process, we capture stories and material, leave them behind, and call them perfect. Here's a school playground, hints of railroad, local industry, plants overtaking boundaries, hidden parts to be found cast in concrete. They raise questions to be asked, and play among new things created from old encourages curiosity using all of one's senses. Here's a curving staircase rising through the center of a home that was once a dark old grain mill. We take glass, grapevines, and the objects collected from the owner's travels, embed them in the staircase that they climb daily. This is a story the owner wanted to remember. So right here in York, since 1895, a plant is still quietly printing wall coverings on the same old machines. Our whole city passes the brick facade daily, never understanding the story of what happens inside this building. So more than a surface printed panel or a stylized look, this sign is one of those old machines, displayed for our curiosity in hopes of sharing a story. So, over the years, I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of talented people, all of them seeking purpose, meaning, and knowledge by thinking and doing. We're shaped by the things that we make, and then again by living among those things. So try looking at your place in the process as making stories. Take time to observe and learn a language deeper than print or film. Strive to read our material bodies, the things we build, and the natural world as the best story, told from a collection of all our best defects.
I'm Kelly Gibson. I'm the Director of Communications and Engagement with the Cultural Alliance of York County, and we are bringing an online arts and culture network to York called York 365. York 365 is this really amazing online network that we saw in other cities. So Boston, Nashville, Sacramento, Austin. You go to these cities and you want to know what to do, and you go onto their web search. What you get is this online arts and culture network. And it's run as a nonprofit, and it's a lot of the other arts and culture organizations in those cities are the ones who host it. So we were at a meeting with other arts councils similar to what we are, United Arts Funds, and we saw these amazing networks that they had and said, how did you do that? Because here in York, we've been hearing for years how people want the master calendar. Can there be one place where everyone's events are shown so we all know what's going on? And we have such great products here in York already. We've got Flipside's calendar. We have WITF's RSVPA calendar. Downtown Inc. has their calendar. But each of them is a little different. They have different audiences. Now, Flipside is going to show us events from all over the region, even including Baltimore. Downtown Inc. is wanting to show downtown events. WITF has their own market share. They want to show those events. So they're never really going to be that master calendar. But is there a way that we can still have one of those calendars that shows that? But also, is there a way, and this has been asked for years, can we eliminate the repetitiveness that's for those who host events like us and like a lot of the artists and arts organizations? You want your event to show up on the calendars, you have to enter them into each one. And our last count was 27 different community calendars in our region. So you have to go on 27 different times, enter your event information, and it's never quite the same, so you have to cut and paste, but that doesn't always work. And it doesn't remember your events, so every year if you do an annual festival or event, you have to re-enter everything. And that's a lot of time for these folks who don't have that kind of time to spend. They could be doing their mission. They could be really organizing another event. They could be serving their people. So is there a way to make everyone's lives easier? Because if we had a way to synchronize the events across the calendars, it wouldn't only save people entering the events, it would save those calendars, the administrative side, so much time. Well, that's what this does. York 365 is a synchronization module where when events are entered into it, it can then send those events out to other calendars and populate them. And what it does is if we're the clearinghouse for those events, we check it and make sure that everything's there, the grammatics are correct. And when we send that, it's already clean. It's information that can go right onto their calendars in the format those calendars take it. So Downtown Inc. could say, we only want downtown events that are in this geographic location. Once that's set up, those events only will be sent to them. You know, Flipside could say, we want everything. Everything will get sent there. For us, for the Cultural Alliance, we could say, we only want our partner events to show on our page calendar. We just punch those in and it will automatically send. And this is something that has been going on in other cities, and it's time we brought it here to York. The community calendar, I'm sure everyone's heard that phrase. There should be this one point of entry, and I guess years ago that was the York County Chamber had a calendar that sort of became that de facto but everybody's information it's harder to do that these days, to really have one calendar that fits everyone's needs. And I don't think we'll ever go back that way, but we have now the technology to catch up. And this technology can really make it so much easier on those people who run calendars and those people who want to put things out there, just so that we can have a clearer picture. You know, this is something that's been going on for 12 years, this organization that created this calendar module, this online network that we're bringing to York. And they've worked out all the bugs. That's the other beautiful thing is this has been running in major cities for many years. And anytime they have improvements, anytime they have something new, everyone gets that upgrade. So it's really a great product that's gonna keep working for us. We visited and talked with a lot of people who run the calendar in their city. And the great thing is they're nonprofits just like we are. They have small staffs too. This is worth the effort and time. It really makes an impact on the community. In Napa Valley in California, it's a librarian who runs their calendar. But that calendar is so powerful, it powers the tourism. And when you visit Napa Valley and you look up what to do, that's what you're looking at. And she's just this really sweet librarian in Napa Valley who runs it. And you know, Sacramento and Silicon Valley and Nashville, those are all partnerships with their tourism boards, with their arts councils, just because they knew it was the best thing to do for the community, to really have this very powerful tool that elevates all of us. So we wanted to make sure that if we could bring that to York, and if the Women's Giving Circle would partner with us, that's what we were going to do. It really makes a big difference. So it's going to be york365.com, and we're in the process now of building it. And what we've what we've decided to do, we were able to do this, by the way. We received a grant from the Women's Giving Circle because they are also looking for ways to really help the community and artists to converse with one another. Really what our aim was is that we really want to have a way to connect the community at large with artists and arts organizations and with each other. And this will really help to do that, because the other components that it has an artist profile directory. So not only can we have events and happenings and arts and culture, projects and things on there, we also can have artists and arts organizations have profiles on there. And those are all searchable by medium. So if you want a photographer, if you're looking for a pottery studio, if you want a fiber artist, you can actually search this by medium. And artists can have multiple mediums. So if you're a hip hop, pottery, fiber artist who also likes to paint, all of those things can be put on there. Because I think a lot of other calendars, it's hard to pick what you are. You can be whatever you want to be, as many different mediums as you like. You can put your social pages on there, and it'll pull all that information over, photos, videos, sales. These are the kind of things that will help to elevate artists in the community and have them connect with one another. So that'll also be there, in addition to events and openings and exhibitions that we have. There'll actually be a page that identifies the amazing amount of artists in our area. So thanks to the Women's Giving Circle, we're trying to build, it's not just a calendar, it's a network that's going to really connect arts and culture to the community at large, to the folks that live out in Fulton and Franklin counties and people who are outside in the region to see what all is happening. And so we started simply with going first to those partners we want to work with who have calendars now. We showed them what it can do, because we don't want to replace any calendars. That's the other thing. It's not, all the calendars we have, the York County Convention and Visitors Bureau calendar serves a very good purpose. Downtown Inc.'s calendar serves a great purpose. We want those calendars to exist, but we want to be able to simplify the process for everyone so that we're sharing that information. So we brought them in for focus groups and said, this is what it can do. What do you think? Will you be a partner with us? Can we send information to you so that we can have that one point of entry? And we've had those partnerships forming, so that's been great to have them sign on and want the information from the calendar. Our next step was to start sharing it with artists and arts organizations. So we've been in focus groups with arts organizations and artists to show them what it can do, ask their opinions, because it's so much easier to build something with the thoughts of the community in mind than just build something and stick it out there and say, here it is. We really wanted to take that step to really talk to people and figure out what it is this can do and will it solve some of these issues. And so far the response has been fantastic. So we're currently building it. We're trying to launch it in fall. We're saying fall. We're hoping it's going to be in earlier fall than later, but it'll be ready to go at that point. In fact, we're already talking about pulling calendar feeds from some of our calendars in the area to start populating it. So it'll be ready to go at that time. And then we are going to market it and really hope that it takes off. And the wonderful thing about this online network is in every city that it's in, the way that it's built and the site optimization that it uses and the responsiveness of the site pretty much makes it the #1 organic search option when you look for things to do in York. So it very quickly rises to the top, which only benefits everyone who's part of the calendar. So it really can help people get found and help events to get promoted. And it'll be that one place that if you want to know what's happening on October 22nd, 2015, you can check that calendar and have a pretty good idea that's what's going on. 365 is going to be great because you can search on whatever is comfortable for you. Do you know the date you want to go out? Then you search by date. Do you know the venue you like to go to? Search by venue. If you have a film festival you want to attend, or you're really into rock and roll, or you really like spoken word, all of those things are searchable. It also has this great way that it shows the top events based on users and user recommendations. The other thing that's different about 365 is it's not just a flat calendar entry. It actually is responsive. So that calendar entry will also have Facebook links and social media links. It'll have ways to buy tickets right from the page. You can rate that page, you can book it, and then use the Book It app so that you can actually put it into your calendar. All of those things happen right from the event page. You want to find out more about the host organization, you can click and you can go right to their page. You want to donate to the host organization, you can do that right from the page. So it's not just this little box that opens with a description, it's so much more. It gives you a 360-degree experience. So you're really getting into that event and learning so much about it, and the people who run it, to such a difference than the calendars that you probably are used to.
As mentioned, today I'm going to talk about creating value through sensory experiences. One thing for traditional marketing through print, media, radio, that's a really great thing that's existed forever. It's another to take it to the next level of a sensory experience that then logs into the core value of someone's memory, and your brand can be remembered for years down the road when somebody shares an experience with their friends. Here's a photo of our family farm. This is a 4th generation farm. From a personal level, I've watched my family go through financial trials and tribulations to keep this place. It's been a standing testament to my life to show me that when an emotional attachment to a tangible object or an experience exists, somebody will bust through any barrier in order to keep that and maintain it. My early career, I worked in summer camps. Anybody been to a summer camp before? All right. Summer camp, from a marketing perspective, is the most difficult industry, I think, to work in. You keep people for 90 days, 24/7, keep those experiences going, and then they leave for 8 to 9 months and do something completely different, and then you hope 8 to 9 months later they remember you and want to sign up again. So you have to create tangible experiences, sensory analysis experience, and shared experiences amongst people that really keep them and resonate through, because a print ad in a magazine is not going to do that justice. These are just some photos of years ago that trying to keep those things going and keeping the students and their parents resonating. Visually, color is the #1 thing with advertising, I believe. Working in Philadelphia, graffiti was a big thing, and the Philadelphia Mural Arts Program was a true testament to showing me that visually, scope and scale and a visual coloration can drive a brand home and a concept home and bring a real community together to support something. When you're a brand, you want to be a friend with your consumer. I show this is my friends right here, but I show this in a situation that we have varying experiences that we do on an annual basis. We've been together for many, many years, over a decade now, and part of that is because of the shared experiences that we have together. Those shared experiences are the same thing that we should be doing as brands in order to get things going. As I said to those that are in college, here you go. So in Drexel University is a large school. Everybody's having a party every weekend, so what do? You got to do something different. Luckily, I went to Drexel, a lot of engineers. We built literally a wrestling ring in the backyard. So we used to have one party to launch the year that was our wrestling party, and it would resonate on throughout the rest of the year. It was very successful. I then took all that debauchery and turned it into a career. The top 2 businesses are my consulting agencies I started a few years ago. Free Mind Entertainment, working in the music business, and marketing public relations for Free Mind, working with brand consulting. That has now come down to a localized level here in York, Pennsylvania that you all recognize with York on Tap and the beer race. Our first ever event that we did years ago, we had a documentary screening where we had the director of a documentary of a hiker in Mount Washington, came down. We then did a showing at a high school. The kids then at the high school definitely had a Q&A with the director afterwards, and then we invited the teachers down to the local bar and had a couple bands playing. That was a full 360 experience for the actual client of the high school, and shown out to many spots after that. Sips and Sounds is a piece of all of these. We went to a winery, and we wanted to have a full sensory experience, so we had a concert in the vineyard and sampled out all the wines in the vineyard of the raw ingredients. We then progressed into video and audio work. The video and audio is a great opportunity for people to show from a marketing perspective on a national scale, even if you're in a small area such as York, Pennsylvania, some impacts that you have, and be able to transcend those shared experiences to other people around the country. Allowing your friends and family to be able to experience the same experiences you had without the smell, obviously. This is a progression into our video work with the launching of the beer race. The beer race is our full sensory experience of beer and food and many other things that have to do with beer. Again, everybody that's under 21, those new recruits for York College, please close your ears. This is a shot, the beginning of the videos that we ever did, and this is a festival that basically coming out to, in Philadelphia, you can get 7,000 people to come out and drink Coors Light. You got to do something a little bit extra. So we had 7,000 people come up, and in order to get in, you had to dress up like Santa Claus. So that's a full sensory experience. It's something that people will always remember, and people will kind of talk about, share photos of, and kind of really be something unique other than, hey, we just went out to a parking lot and drank beer together. This has taken the food and beer experience to a next level of actually showing the raw materials and the raw ingredients that goes into the tasting. Our friends at Downtown Inc. and Gavin Advertising worked together with us with down at York Kitchen. We brought a chef up from Baltimore, and we basically cooked a few meals together and really got an intimate group together to show them the actual raw ingredients that go into their food and their beer. This is our education to our staff and to our consumers that we do on a daily basis. On the left is at Buffalo Wild Wings. We go through 60 different brands that we have, breweries that we have in our portfolio, and we educate our staff at our accounts and our clients, as well as directly to our consumers, the tangible experiences that we want them to have. And then on the back end, obviously, we sample through with the sensory experience that we want them to have. There's a culture with every brand that exists in our portfolio and every brewery that exists in the country and actually in the world. And it's really complicated to be able to get that cultural experience into every pint glass. And we try to do as much as we can in order to get that through. Our age range is from anywhere from 21 to 101. So you can imagine the individualist kind of programs that we need to have. Up in the upper right-hand corner, we take our staff to those breweries to then be able to transcend that story on a localized level. That's the Deschutes River. Deschutes Brewery, one of the largest breweries in the country. Basically, their logo is a river going through, and it's a big part of their brewery. But in order to transcend that, you have to actually go to the brewery or go to the river and stand in there. I'm shamelessly promoting myself here and embarrassing myself at the same time, but this is a great community activity that we do. One of the things with the brand is really, outside of selling, is to get into your market and really get to know your community. So we go out, we have Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, Welcome Island Horseshoes, Movember, all those things that we do to get out there and be a part of our community and build a strong community around us. And it's a great opportunity to engage our consumers in a non-selling fashion. This right here is, if anybody ever been to Portland, Oregon Airport, this is the carpet at Portland, Oregon Airport that has come out to its own marketing campaign on an organic level. This is literally the carpet that now has its own beer, it has its own apparel company, it has its own donut. It's actually a wallpaper in someone's bathroom. So sensory experiences and shared experiences can go on forever. I'm going to close with this. This is the most important thing that I can hail now today. Insert the word beer into anything else. Your first donut, your first cheesesteak, your first cheeseburger. Everybody remembers their first beer. Just hope that one of the things is with your sensory experience, you can teach that so everybody remembers their first time engaged with your brand.
Just the confidence that I see women gain when I teach them belly dance, just their balance improves, their flexibility improves, the way they feel about their bodies improves because these movements feel so fantastic. I saw them pull out these drums and finger cymbals and just start dancing in the street, and it was one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen. I have learned so much about body image through my belly dance journey so far. When I first started dancing, I was really shy. I had next to no self-confidence in my body whatsoever. All I could ever see was the flaws. And belly dance movement is so organic. It feels a little odd when you first start because your muscles aren't used to moving that way. But once you get used to the types of movements that you're doing, they feel very, very natural and very organic. When you perform, there is an extent where you want to make sure that what you're doing is appealing to your audience. Some movements look better on some dancers than on other dancers, but it usually doesn't really have anything to do with their shape per se, more so just how their body interprets the movement. When you go into dance training, I do my dance training pretty much full time, and there are a lot of amazing teachers out there. Several teachers have begun developing their own certification programs. One of the most well-known in our dance community is Suhaila Salampour. She has a fantastic school of dance that many people have been through. It's actually on my list of things to go through eventually, but many teachers that have been doing this for years and years have developed their own style and have kind of created their own school based on their particular style. Right now, I have 2 certifications under my belt. My mentor Ansuya has a dance certification that I have gone through, and my sword mama, Belladonna, has a full certification program just working with swords that I have passed level 1 and am looking into doing level 2 very soon. So there are a lot of different ways that you can pursue this. I am actually working on developing my own style of dance through my own experience and through working with my different teachers and mentors. So I have started my own dance academy, and I'm working on my own certification program as well as I continue studying with other teachers. It's a very lifelong process. There are so many things in this dance to learn that you could literally study dance forever and still not learn everything. So, and I go into different styles as well that I fuse into my belly dance, like hip hop, classical Indian. So, and I use a lot of props. So I'm versed in sword, veil, I know palm fire. So there's a lot of different avenues that you could go with this dance, and there are so many different things that you can learn. It's kind of hard to know where to start, but if you have somebody that can help you kind of dissect everything and figure out what direction you want to go, it's a very cool journey. So today I'm going to teach you a basic belly dance isolation. I'm going to teach you a simple knee-driven hip shimmy.
Okay.
Shimmies are amazing because some shimmies are extremely controlled and isolated. This one is a little bit more relaxed. Okay. It literally, when I do this shimmy, it allows me to just relax everything. So this shimmy is driven almost completely from your knees, and your hips are just kind of coming along for the ride. My knees are already somewhat bent because I'm in proper posture. But what you're gonna do is you're going to deeply bend one knee. This is my left knee. If you want to, you can start with either knee, it doesn't matter. But deeply bend, and you're gonna feel your hip kind of drop down with that. Okay, and your other hip will kind of raise up more. All right, so then you're gonna switch to your other knee and drop it and straighten this one a little bit more, and you'll feel your hips change positions. So then you go back, and then you switch to your other knee. So we're gonna start with our left hip, and we're gonna bend that knee, and then switch to the right knee, and switch to the left knee. Right now, this movement feels kind of big, but as we speed this up, the movement is going to get smaller. So let's try doing this double time. Left, and speed it up. Left, right, left, right, and here we go, double time. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. You'll start feeling the movement get smaller. Left, right, left, right, left, right. As you get farther into belly dance, you learn proper arm frames to do with your arms. But when you're just practicing certain isolation drills, it is okay to put your hands on your hips. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Here we go, double time. Left. 1, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your knees soft. Keep everything relaxed.
I really hope what I'm doing looks like what you're doing.
So we don't want to bounce with it at all. Okay. This is literally just coming from the knees. There you go. Good. This speed takes a little while to get to where you're comfortable and can hold it for long periods of time. So you want to start out with just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and really get comfortable with that slow. Then you can double time it. Then you can double time it again, and eventually you'll be doing this. If you start becoming aware of just moving that, you'll notice, oh, my hips are bouncing or moving funky, and then you just stop, reset yourself, and start again.
So I imagine a mirror probably helps a lot.
A mirror is usually really helpful if you're a mirror person. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's just a matter of kind of focusing on that and feeling that, and making sure that if you feel that you're kind of going with your feet, or if you feel like your hips are going, there are a lot of movements that we do that are very hip, that you actually use your hip muscles, like hip slides. But for this particular shimmy, you want to make sure it's all coming from the knees.
moves. Well, during the dance you did an interesting, like a little hip pop out isolation. That was my single favorite move outside of the sword, which I know we're not doing, and I am so upset about that.
That is your basic knee-driven hip shimmy. I use belly dance in a couple different ways. One way is in a more theatrical manner to tell a story, and that's what you saw me performing here today, and that's usually what you see me performing anytime you see me on a stage. So there's the theatrical aspect of belly dance, and then I've also gotten into the more spiritual form of belly dance, which is not doing this for performance, but for doing this for my own well-being. And there are certain areas of dance, a lot of times you hear them in our community referred to as sacred dance or trance dancing. Trance dancing is a very ancient concept that was used in the Middle East. And so some of the things that they would do would help them communicate with different spirits. So there are very spiritual elements to belly dance. Many people believe that belly dance actually started as a form of ritual. There's no exact evidence as to exactly where and when belly dance started because there's so many different styles. But a lot of people believe that this was originally done by women for women, and it was something that you learned from the time you were very little, and it helped you grow into womanhood. A lot of the isolations that we use help to prepare your body for the different stages of womanhood. So it's a very wonderful thing to feel all of this going on when you're doing certain hip movements. My hips are a lot stronger than they were when I first started belly dancing. So the entire idea of dance is, first and foremost, I believe it should be used for healing the self and for healing the spirit and connecting the body, the mind, and the spirit together. And there are a lot of more ritualistic ways that we can do that. I have actually started taking that a little bit farther into my theatrical dancing, where I have pieces that I have used to heal past experiences that I have a lot of trouble getting over or getting through. Certain life events when I'm extremely stressed out. Sometimes I will actually translate that into a theatrical piece to kind of let other people know that this is what I'm going through, and if you're going through it too, that it's normal and it happens. And so there's a few different ways that you can take belly dance as a healing art. If you would like to reach me, you can find me on Facebook. I have my own official fan page. You can find me at facebook.com/Lunaketa. Lunaketa is spelled Lunaketta. That's Lunaketa, 2 words. Through my fan page, you can also find my official website. And you can also find other contact info on there as far as how to email me. You can find me on Google+. I have my own YouTube channel. So all of that can be found from my Facebook fan page. But overall, every belly dance movement will make you just feel fantastic. So I've found that dance is an amazing thing for anyone who's looking for some more confidence in themselves and in their body to feel.
About this, I love the atmosphere, and I just want to know more about it.
I see it evolving, changing, growing. I like it.
It's fleeting. Once it happens, once a song comes out, once a poem comes out, it'll never come out the same.
Some of the culture in Maine is documenting what's going on in a way that will have that lasting, staying power.
It just breeds health, growth. It's a necessity. It's a necessity. Yes.